This is Terror House Radio with Matt Forney and Bryden Proctor.
And that's right. Welcome to a Terror House Radio episode number 2. I am Matt Forney, your charming and loquacious host, and the founder and editor-in-chief of Terror House Press. I really got to stop saying that every time because it makes me feel egotistical. Joining me is my co-host and producer of this fine show, the also charming and very cheerful Bryden Proctor. How you doing, Bryden?
I'm alarming and vivacious.
Yes, you are. On this program, we're going to be welcoming the Bechtloff. He's the host of Bechtloff's Saturday Night Livestream, show about geek stuff, politics, weird-ass news stories.
Black people things.
Black people things, exactly. And we are going to be talking about video games and stuff related to not video games. Why are we talking about video games on the podcast of a literary magazine? Because number one, we can do whatever we want. It's our show. And number two, the Steam Thanksgiving sale is going on, so I got video games on the brain. Oh yeah, number three, the Halo, the Master Chief Collection is coming out next week. So we're gonna talk a bit about that. We're gonna talk a bit about other stuff. But first, Bryden, how was your Thanksgiving? We had Thanksgiving a couple days ago.
I was fine. I mean, I didn't do anything. Erica made food, ate some food. Mostly just, I finished up my Spore game and then ate and slept. Was pretty much it. Yeah, I mean, I guess they don't have Thanksgiving where you are, but you're an American person, so you just kind of can of Spam, or what'd you do? Do they have turkeys there?
You kind of stole my punchline because it was like, wow, what do you think I did for Thanksgiving, Bryden? What do you think I did? I went to McDonald's. That's what I did. Because I'm not in the U.S., and I'm also a sad, lonely loser.
I mean, I guess McDonald's was closed here, although this was fucked up. I don't know why I always forget about this until it comes around. But, dude, Thanksgiving Day, around, 6 o'clock, tons of places are open. You got, grocery stores and Best Buy and Walmart, all of this, at fucking 6 o'clock. That just seems terrible to me. And I'm not, I don't really... Thanksgiving is what it is, whatever, right? But it just seems wrong that you can't... Christmas, I could see that, fine, maybe open, 6, 7, 8, whatever, on Christmas Day. Makes sense, because you forget batteries or whatever. There's a reason to be open. You've already done everything you're supposed to do that day. But 6 o'clock, you probably... these people, just ate 3 hours ago. And they just show up, grab some food, and then now they got to go to their fucking Walmart job. Just seems... really shitty. I mean, I've worked on Thanksgiving a bunch, but that was voluntary. I just doubt all of those people volunteer for it.
Yeah. It's funny you bring that up because I actually had a debate with Bechtloff on his YouTube channel about a year ago about this because I went on a rant on my show, but it's maybe inhumane's too strong a word, but I've worked retail on Thanksgiving. I've worked retail in the Christmas season. It's one of the worst jobs in the world. Because not only are you getting paid shit, people treat you like shit. I worked at a Kmart in not exactly the black part of town, but there were a lot of buses, if you get my impression.
Sure.
So, get my meaning. So, Thanksgiving, I came in at Thanksgiving. We weren't doing 6 o'clock when I was a kid at Thanksgiving, but we opened at midnight. So, I'd show up there around midnight. And work throughout the entire morning. There was one year where I actually was working for a temp agency, and they bussed us up to friggin' one of the suburbs to work at a Best Buy. Opened at 11 p.m. People yelling, screaming, going apeshit on you because the item they wanted is out of stock. Do you have any PlayStation 3s? No, we don't have any PlayStation 3s. Nobody has any PlayStation 3s. They don't exist. They're a figment of your imagination.
Do you have any PlayStation 3s? Sir, it's 2017. You don't come to a... What are you doing?
Yeah, it really irritates me. I mean, my kind of view is that there should be a law eliminating that. Okay, maybe fine, maybe open at midnight, fine, whatever. But 6 p.m., that's fucking unreasonable. You're eating... The holiday should be sit around, enjoy yourself, have fun with your family. Just get away from all this consumerist stuff. And then next day, on Black Friday, everyone can start clubbing each other to death over PlayStation 3s.
I don't know if there should be a law about it, though. I'm not trying to get the fucking government involved on it. I just, I just think it's weird. Yeah, because I don't want the government involved with that, because that's going to be,
I could see that. I mean, looking at it from one perspective, there was a period in my life a few years ago where I was living in North Dakota in the oil sands, and North Dakota has the strongest blue laws in the U.S. Basically, you can't open anything on Sunday before noon. Like the 24-hour Walmart they have closes for 12 hours every Sunday, which sounds like it kind of sucks from a consumer's perspective, but from the perspective of the workers, it's pretty nice because I got a 12-hour mandated period of time where I could actually sleep or just not work and just not have to deal with the derelicts that were swarming around that town all the time, peeing in bushes and soliciting $400 fat Honduran prostitutes. It was great. It was fantastic. So maybe not a law, but maybe just throttle it back, guys. Just throttle it back.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. I wasn't that upset about it. I just more thought, oh, that's weird. That sucks. I mean, frankly, like, if you don't like it, don't fucking work there. I mean, I always volunteered to work on holidays because, like, nobody else is working. It's a good
the
time.
money was nice, yeah. I mean, you get time and a half, so it's like not like these guys are getting, paid. They're not being dragged in there as slaves, but it still sucks the way the whole thing rolls out.
Well, see, no, yeah. I've changed my mind on this now because, like, I oftentimes I had nothing else to do. I didn't have shit else to do. It's like I was just all of my friends were with their family. I was a couple thousand miles away from mine, so it was like, oh yeah, might as well work. No, it's not like anybody's gonna really bother me too much at work, and then you get more time, or at least like a kudos from the bosses who are just like, hey, thanks for helping out, when we really need you in a pinch, and that way you can like come to work drunk like a week and later, and it's like, that's your one,
Well, I always just rebelled against the management by stealing energy drinks from the back room.
Yeah, you should steal. I mean, that's a given.
But yeah, to move on to Terror House news, since that's the official reason we're doing this segment. The big news is we've got Letters from a Heartbroken Pervert. We talked about it last week. I said it would hopefully be out on Friday, and the reason I said hopefully is because it wasn't set in stone. We were having issues, logistical issues. But the new release date is locked in, is set in stone. It'll be this Friday, December 6th. It's the files have been uploaded. It's all going through the system. So you will be able to have that in your hot little hands on December 6th. Our very first book, Terror House's very first book. And I know Brian is just super psyched about this because he's such a big reader. He's a real huge intellectual.
It's you guys, it'll be here just in time for Valentine's Day. That I promise.
I feel like that episode of Rick and Morty with Toxic Rick is like, how does that make you feel, Bryden? Are you excited about that, Bryden? Yeah, we fucking did it, Bryden. Put your fucking hands in the air.
I don't remember that one.
It kind of sucked.
I mean, yeah. Look, it'll be there probably sometime, and if not, it fills a lot of time for us to say next time. Just new release dates. Think of it like I don't know, any video game. Get those pre-orders in, guys, and then we got DLC extra chapters as well. A few microtransactions if you want to read some of the raunchier things, that's how they should make books, dude.
Books with microtransactions.
That's
already been done with like erotica. But they sell like a story for like 99 cents, and then you can get like the whole collection for like $5. So if you want to read about dinosaurs fucking, that's the way you got to do it.
I mean,
and by the way, that is a thing.
Well, I mean, dinosaurs weren't ever fucking real anyway, because you can't say like how did they fuck with those tails and stuff? They didn't look like that. That's a topic for another time about how dinosaurs are just not fucking real. But yeah, well, I mean, maybe you'll get a book someday, guys. Maybe.
But yes, you will get the book on December 6th.
Maybe.
Oh, and stay tuned on December 6th. I have to insert the hopefully clause here because we're still setting things up. We may, hopefully, have a special deal for those of you who order direct from terrorhousepress.com. Don't go to Amazon. Don't go to Barnes & Noble. Shun the big corporate marketplaces and give your money directly to us. And you can also give money directly to us at streamlabs.com/terrorhousemagazine. It's going to be great. It's going to be good. And also with regards to this podcast, thanks to everyone who listened to the first episode. When we put this up, we were only on YouTube and Anchor. We are now on Spotify. We are now on Breaker. We are now on Radio Public, and we're now on Google Podcasts. The other ones, we're still waiting on approval for that, but you'll be able to listen to Terror House Radio on your choice of audio poison.
Coming soon to shortwave radio.
Yes. We even have the RSS feed up, so if you want to, you can plug that into whatever podcast app you like. By the way, if you're listening on YouTube, I'm not going to be doing this for much longer. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. Well, you should hit the subscribe button no matter where you are. And if you're on YouTube, hit the bell icon to ensure you actually get notifications because YouTube sucks. But anyway, that's enough of that. We're going to have the Bechtloff coming right up, so stay tuned.
This is Terror House Radio.
And welcome, the Bechtloff, to Terror House Radio. Bechtloff, how you doing?
Hey, how's it going?
I brought you on, Bechtloff, because this is the show about... I wanted to bring you on at some point anyway, but I got video games on the mind. Brian and I were just talking about... We were talking off air about Fallout and Bethesda games and the Steam Summer Sale, and I mentioned... the other big news is that the Halo Master Chief Collection is finally coming out on Steam. By the way, it's only $40, guys. $40. That's all the Halo games up to 4. That's like what, $5 a game? That's a pretty awesome deal. Bechtloff, I know you're more of a console gamer, but like, what have you been into recently?
Well, I wouldn't even say I'm a console gamer. I'm just a Nintendo gamer. Like, I get Nintendo consoles because I like Nintendo games. Like, I don't have an attachment to console over PC. I just, they don't put Mario and Zelda on the PC, so I'm gonna go with the Switch.
Well, I want to be like, well, actually, they did put Mario on the PC, and it sucked.
Yeah, I could have Mario teach me typing on the PC, but other than that,
that was so fucking freaky. I remember my parents bought that for me, and it's like the big disembodied head of Mario just screaming at you in 3D. That was some weird LSD shit.
That was that same company that did the those two edutainment games with Mario, Mario's Missing and Mario's Time Machine.
Oh, I never played those.
I never played them either as a kid because they just looked, even as a kid, like they were out, and it's like, I remember renting one of them one time, and it's like, it just felt so off. It just felt like, you could just tell in every aspect of it, like, nobody that made a normal Mario game had anything to do with this.
Well, yeah, that was how my parents kind of sold it to me, because they got me Mario Teaches Typing for Christmas. They didn't tell me what it was, but it was like, oh, you got a Mario game from Santa, and I'm like, now my parents refused to buy me any kind of console because they're like, well, if we buy you a console, that's all you'll do is play video games. They didn't mind me playing PC games though. So I was thinking, and I've been by my friends and stuff. They all had Super Nintendos and Mario and stuff. Like, oh yes, I can finally play Mario. I can finally see what I've been missing. And I unwrap it, and it's Mario Teaches Typing, and I'm like, drats, damn it.
I remember as a kid, my dad, he was sort of that same way. Like, he got me consoles when I was a little kid. Like, I had an NES, and I had a Genesis after that. I had even a Game Gear and a Game Boy. But once I reached, like, I want to say, like, 13 or something, he just decided, like, that was it. Video games are for kids. I'm not buying any more video game consoles, period. They're stupid. He's a boomer, so he was anti-video games to begin with. But he would still buy me computer games because it's like, in his head, he thought they were educational or something. But, like, the computer games he got me were, like, Oddworld and Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
So I don't know why he was thinking that.
Lara Croft's breasts are very educational.
Yeah, they were, but I don't know why he thought that. But it's like, yeah, I remember the one, like, Christmas 97 or something like that. I got Oddworld and Tomb Raider. Like, he would not get a game console again because that's stupid. But he'll upgrade the PC just to, like, we had to get a new, like, graphics card for Tomb Raider or something like that.
Really?
And that's fine.
Well, I guess that makes
What?
sense. It was a pretty graphically demanding game back in the day.
Yeah, nowadays you can probably play it on, a calculator, but back then, yeah, it was pretty demanding.
Yeah, and I watched a video from LGR the other day, and this dude managed to get Doom running on like a digital camera from like '98.
I saw that. Yeah, it's insane.
Now playing it's not fun because you had to use the shutter control to shoot, but like it's interesting. Yeah,
There was a ghetto version of Doom available for graphing calculators back in the day.
Oh, I've never seen that.
Like graphing calculators used to have like really primitive games on them, and generally it was just like old arcade ports like Space Invaders or something like that. But somebody managed to get just a shitty version of Doom on there. Amazingly.
Yeah. My parents, like I said, were the same way. Like they refused to buy me consoles, but they liked PC games were fine. They didn't mind me playing like Command and Conquer, and then me getting up. Like I would get up like in the early morning because it's easier to get up in the morning as a kid because you're conditioned to getting up at 7 in the morning to go to school. I would get up early on the morning on Saturday because we had the family computer. Now there's an idea there's a concept for like the youngins in the audience. The family computer. Not everyone had their own little laptop or iPad or phone or whatever when I was growing up. There was one computer, and it was the family computer, and we all had to share that. So I think
a lot of families need to go back to that. Like if I had kids, yeah, everybody's not getting their own computer. Okay, I don't need you having a crippling porn addiction at the age of 13. We're just going to have one computer in the family room. How about that?
Yeah, but like I would work around that by like, because my parents and stuff wanted to use the computer during the day. So I'd get up super early on like a Saturday morning and I'd just play Command and Conquer or SimCity or whatever. And then my dad would start complaining about having to hear the sounds of dying soldiers over his morning omelet.
Well, I had my dad's not as bad as most boomers in most regards. But when it comes to video games, he's classic boomer. Like he just stupid. Like it's that classic boomer mentality. I often say that like boomers really, really hate video games and rap music, specifically because those are two things that didn't exist when they were kids. Like that's all it is. Everything else they say about what's wrong with it is just window dressing. They hate those things because they didn't have them when they were kids.
Yeah, see, I think that's probably why, like Gen Z hates trannies.
All we had was RuPaul. But my dad was very boomer about video games. And it's weird. As a kid, he would buy me some, but it was very begrudgingly. It'd be like, oh, I wanted Game Gear for Christmas the one year. And he's like, I guess. Can't you read books? I'm like, I do read books, but I also want a Game Gear.
No, Dad, I can't read books because I'm not fucking gay, dude.
It's like, how many books about Sonic the Hedgehog? Can you get me some of those? Because I'll read those. How about that?
Dear Santa, I'd like a copy of Super Mario Brothers Brick by Movie Bob Pittman for Christmas.
I'm pretty sure that's what he gives instead of coal now.
I've talked about that before. Well, you got me to read it, Bechtloff, and for that I will eternally curse you. But it was research material for the novel that I'm writing, and that will hopefully be finished at some point in the future. As you described it, it's supposed to be about Super Mario Brothers 3, but it's really just about he crams his autobiography in there for some reason.
He does. It's like I had to do a review back on Reaction when that was a thing. But I described it as, I said, like, in the same way a T-bone steak is hard to cook because it's actually two steaks, this is hard to review because it's actually two books. One book is about Mario 3, the other is the sad, sad journal of Bob Chipman. As he talks about how he didn't go to his grandma's funeral. He just played Mario.
Well, the amazing thing about, the amazing thing about that book when I read it was that, he goes through his life story in laborious detail. And I don't want to oversell it because it's still only a relatively small portion of the book. But, he mentions in such things as like, he's him playing his Game Boy in the car outside his house because his family hated him that much. He wouldn't go in the house after 11 p.m. The thing that really struck me the most about that section was that every experience this guy has had has been mediated by a screen in some fashion. He's got a bad relationship with his family. He has no friends, basically. He straight up admitted that. He almost certainly has never once had a girlfriend or ever had sex. And as you pointed out, Bechtloff, like he goes over everything else in laborious detail, including how he first moved out of the house at the ripe young age of 31. No mention of a girlfriend.
Not one. And again, he goes into his life detail. Not even like a crush he had. It's so weird. It's most guys will talk about ex-girlfriends or something, either like, oh, that bitch or miss or whatever. But it'll just come up naturally. Oh, this chick I dated one time or whatever. Just never anywhere in that does he mention it.
Maybe you don't want to.
If I was writing about video games, I'd be like, oh, I used to play this one Mario Kart with this one girl I was seeing or something like that. But it just never comes up. It's almost like he was not even interested in it.
Or perhaps he's not. He's not trying to brag. Maybe he's not that's slaying puss, and you have to brag about it because you're like, what if people think I'm gay? Oh, I better bring up girls.
Movie Bob was crushing puss. I'm gonna press X to doubt on that.
No, dude. Where do you think
he just strikes me as the kind of guy that would not play that close to the vest?
No, where do you think laying pipe even came from? Okay, this guy.
Who knows? I was quite surprised at how much puss Pro Jarrett was crushing. So
yeah, the only puss movie Bob's ever crushed is when he once fell on a cat.
Pro Jarrett was crushing so much puss it almost crushed his life.
That guy's awesome. Yeah. That guy kicks so much ass. I don't know. All I know about him is that like he just fucks everything, and then apparently I don't know. He may or may not have. People were calling him a pedophile. I disavow the pedophile part. But I don't know. I mean, he's got the a face of a pedo. You can guess what part I am suspicious of his face that makes him look like a pedophile. But he seems great. Besides the pedophilia,
yeah, those eyebrows are super. Yeah. I agree, Brian. Those eyebrows are super suspicious.
Yeah.
Somehow, though, he was crushing puss left and right. I don't know how he did it.
Well, the thing with the pedophilia,
he was fucking dudes too. He was crushing puss and ass left and right. I don't know what was going on.
He's bi?
He was fucking dudes too.
I did not know that.
I mean, I'm not too surprised, but
Pro Jared is fucking awesome. What's the pro for? Oh, pro at just put your dick in shit, dude. He's awesome. Good for him. Good for him. I'm proud of him. I hope he continues to go on his quest to make a YouTube channel where he ultimately has to go life with herpes. That's a new rebrand for him. It's going to be really cool.
I was going to go with life with AIDS, but with regards to the pedophilia thing, he did do a video about that, and he did specify that all the people he got nudes from were over 18. And with their consent, because, of course, that's the most important thing of all.
Well, see, he's not that cool. If he was really cool, he would have gotten their nudes without their consent. He would have been like, I'm Master Hacker Pro Jared. That would
Hacker man.
Yeah. I've never watched a single one of his videos. I just remember the Twitter thing was my first introduction to this person even existing. And, contrarian in me means I have to have his back.
Well, yeah, I mean, and think about it in another way. It's like, we're all roughly around the same age, and I'm probably, I'm going to just speak for myself here. It's like, I thought my game, playing video games was kind of a shameful thing. It was for fucking nerds. So, like, I tried to, A, hide it from people at school, like, when, and stuff. And B, like I tried to kind of give up the habit in high school of like, I need to be an intellectual. I need to read books now. And I know Brian's laughing at that. And now we got this guy who plays Nintendo games for a living, and he's just crushing everything with an open orifice wherever he can.
I was I've seen some of his videos before, and it was they're decent enough. It was hardly my favorite game YouTuber, but every once in a while, I'd check him out. I wasn't even really subscribed to him, but I'd watch him sometimes. And then just everything blew up, and it was like, oh shit. but he managed to turn it around. He put out a few videos there disputing everything, and everybody thought his little wife was the victim, and her story just started to slowly collapse, and he kind of turned it around.
To be fair, his wife is pretty hot.
Wait, you're saying... Hold on. Bechtloff, you're saying that during a divorce, some woman went around and lied on some guy?
I know. I was shocked, too.
Huh. I don't know. I'd have to... I'm going to need a titty check from that broad, and then the truth will come out.
That was such a crazy story too. That was one of those things where, like, you can't blame everybody for piling onto it, because it's like it was such insane gossip where everybody's somewhat fascinated by it. Wait, this goofy looking dude was banging a whole bunch of people behind his wife's back? How did that happen?
See, I can blame people for it, though. And maybe it's just because I'm getting old. But, like, I had never heard of this guy. And, like, I'm mad that I even know about this guy. And it's just a name to pull from when you're saying, like, big-nosed guys that slay. I mean, but the whole internet cared about... That was my first introduction to this person. And forever it will be. And his stupid, dumb, ugly face is... like, just stuck in my brain, and I'll probably have that for another 10 years before it's replaced with some other fucking thing. And it just makes the world seem so fucking boring that it, like, some video game YouTuber guy is out having, eyes wide shut fucking sex parties, and then it's all Twitter's problem.
I think my first introduction to DSP was when he got caught jacking off on stream.
I think that was a lot of people's first introduction.
Aside from I didn't know anything about him either, so, like, I remember, like, somebody brought it up on my live stream, and everybody wanted to hate on him for years and years, and I kind of felt bad for him. It was like, poor guy left his camera on, didn't know, he wanted to crank one out before a stream, and everybody's like, no, he's an asshole. It's fine to laugh at him.
I don't know who that is, but again, I'm gonna have that guy's back. Because that's fucking great marketing. It's like, oh, my channel's not doing so hot. Let me just accidentally jerk. I'm going to do that sometime. Accidentally jerk it. That sounds fucking cool. That guy's a Chad.
Well, you should also have his back for the reason that, the reason that he was jerking off on camera was because his girlfriend wouldn't fuck him, right? Gotta have his back.
That's fucking awesome, dude. Wait, was that his excuse? He was like, look, fellas, the only reason I was jerking off is because she wouldn't fuck me, and I had to play some WoW.
The funniest thing he ever did regarding his girlfriend on stream was, like, he took a break on his stream to make dinner, and he goes, I gotta go wake Leanna up. She's sick, but she needs to make me dinner.
Yes, see? These guys are awesome. What is anybody talking about? That's how you act.
She's sick, but I know you're throwing up for the flu, but go microwave my Hot Pocket, bitch.
Well, as long as she watches.
I got some more Star Wars Battlefront to play.
That guy sounds fucking cool. Fucking subscribe.
Well, his ability to play games just sucks, but, like, the rest of it is not that bad.
I'm sometimes amazed at his game. Like, he's so dense yet so at times persistent. There was some game where he couldn't figure out how to jump properly to reach this ledge, so he managed to, like, laboriously push fucking barrels up to this ledge to reach it from, like, across the game map.
Well, my favorite one was, like, probably one of a lot of people's favorites, when he tried to play Metal Gear Solid 2 and he didn't know that L2 opens the inventory menu. So he was just like, how do I use the item? How do I use the item? How do I use the item? Like, he never once pressed the button. And they took him like a half hour to figure it out.
He'll miss something so obvious and somehow plow through a game despite it. It becomes like this weird challenge. It's like somebody that could beat the old Legend of Zelda without getting the sword first.
I was watching a speed run of System Shock 2 earlier today, and the guy limited himself to not using the wrench and not shooting out any security cameras, and he cleared the game in less than an hour, like from beginning to end. And anyone who's played that game knows it's fucking hard.
The game sucks. I tried playing it. The combat's just like me slowly swinging a wrench while some guy slowly swings his arm at me, and then I was like, I'm gonna go.
You didn't like it? That game is awesome, dude.
I'm gonna go play BioShock. No,
It's scary as fuck.
it's not though. Maybe it was, but it's about as scary as like like a trick or treater's pumpkin candy bag. It just looks like shit. It looks like it's probably scary for the time, but what's it gonna do? Psychologically terrify me? It's the same fucking thing as BioShock. It's already been spoiled for me, so uninstalled.
Damn.
Well, horror games tend not to age that well, just because it requires a level of immersion, and after a while, the graphics and whatnot they just get so dated that it becomes. The original Alone in the Dark used to frighten the hell out of people. And you go back and look at the graphics now, and it's laughable.
It's also not that hard of a game. I mean, that's like probably a good 40 minutes. That was the first computer game I think I ever played. Was real young. And then I just went through it again rather recently, actually, and it is a piece of shit. All it is just a puzzle game, and then sometimes you walk off of platforms and die instantly, which is a load of fun.
A lot of those PC games are like that. The point and click thing, like the old Sierra games, where there was always some ridiculous solution to each problem, and you could get yourself into unwinnable situations all the time. I played some of the King's Quest games as a kid.
Yeah,
I really liked the atmosphere and the world building in them, but it's like, okay, well, if you don't have a fucking pie when you're up on the mountain, you can't kill the Yeti. It's like, yeah, that's it's insane.
My favorite example of that is how in Phantasmagoria 2, you have to, the main character has to get his keys out from underneath the couch, and the solution is to take the rat, his pet rat out. His rat then gets the keys, but in order to get the rat out from under the couch, you have to lure it out with cheese. And it's not a heavy couch either; it's some cheap IKEA futon. That game was fun. That game was fun on the bun because it was so ridiculous and retarded.
it was considered kind of cutting edge at the time, right? Or at least the first one, because it had like full video and like actors and stuff in it. I'd never played it, but I just know of it.
They're not that fun, but they're fun to watch, not fun to play. Phantasmagoria 2 was groundbreaking because it had a bondage scene.
Yeah. Well,
now I know Bechtloff's interested.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm looking that game up right now.
It had a bondage scene, and it also had a main character who was bisexual. So we got two groundbreaking points up there.
Well, was it a girl that was bisexual?
No, it was a guy. Of course,
okay, never mind.
If it was a girl, it would have sold a lot better.
I was going to say all women are bisexual. Prove me wrong on that.
I'm not sure about that.
It's just a question of how much alcohol needs to be involved.
So is that celebrated as like one of the first real woke games, or is it what it sounds like and was kind of like a fetish game?
It got a lot of controversy, and there were people who lauded it, but then people went to play it and was like, "This is a piece of shit." I mean, to be frank, it kind of is.
Dude, to be honest, most old games aren't Super Mario Brothers. Most old games just fucking suck ass. They were cool at the time, and then you try to play them, and they're just fucking point and click garbage.
Most of the controversial games, especially. I mean, good lord, have you ever tried to play Night Trap? That game's done, and there's nothing on Night Trap that you couldn't see on network TV syndicated on Saturday afternoon, like Baywatch Nights kind of shit.
Yeah, but
for some reason, everybody just decided that game was the worst thing ever, and we need to have congressional hearings over it.
Well, a couple things. One, the difference was, and people were mad about primetime TV at the time. This was kind of like the whole moral majority, old school Republic. Yeah, that type of deal. But it was that video games were traditionally for children, so and they still are, and basically the violent video game people won that because fucking 8-year-olds play Call of Duty and are blowing each other's head off and calling each other the N-word on the internet all the fucking time. But so they were kind of right to be outraged, but it was this is after 8 o'clock, fine, because that was a thing that people had already lost. But then for it to be targeted at children, even though that's where we got the whole like rating system or whatever, which we know now doesn't fucking mean a goddamn thing. So it seems like maybe they were right. They should have probably come down harder on that game.
Well, there's that meme where it's like, Call of Duty and like Pokemon or something, and it's like the targeted audience, and it's a little kid for Pokemon and a grown man for Call of Duty, and it's like the actual audience, and it's a grown man playing Pokemon, and a little kid playing Call of Duty.
Yeah, I remember the point where my boomer dad suddenly decided he liked video games. It was when my sister was was looking at colleges, and she was going to become a programmer. And they went to some kind of like jobs fair for like jobs in the video game industry. And he was like, the average age of gamers now is 28. Like, this was back in 2007. And he was excited about Halo 3 and stuff. And I'm like, oh, I have to go dump all my video games in the trash now. I have to read books the rest of my life. That's thanks a lot, Dad. You just made video games uncool.
People used to want to be programmers. Now they want to be pro gamers. It's a little shower thought for everybody. You think of that one? Yeah, the world sucks. No, they should have gone after video games probably harder. That's because, now it's like just on the Steam Marketplace. You can just buy like hentai video games. You tell me kids aren't getting a hold of those? Fucking please, dude. I was watching South Park as a child, all of that. Wasn't supposed to. So, no, I mean, I think they were right. I don't know. I never really spent too much time thinking about it.
I don't know. I
fucking anime game. Honey Pop, yeah. They were all playing Honey Pop.
I don't know. At a certain point, I'm just sort of like, watch your damn kids. Like, I get really just tired of everybody. Like, we have to censor everything because the kids might get a hold of it. And I'm like, I don't care. You had kids that you apparently can't watch, and I just don't consider that my problem.
Yeah, well, they can't feed them either, and that's why we've got welfare and all these things. But plus,
it's like, just watch your fucking kids. When I was a kid, there were certain things my dad's like, no, you're not going to fucking look at that, and I'll beat your ass if you do. And yeah, sometimes you snuck a look at it, but that's, you knew you weren't supposed to, and you weren't catching it that much, that sort of thing. Like, just need some fathers that are like, hey, don't let me catch you fucking watching that.
Look,
don't let me catch you playing that game. I'm good.
I'm not saying I have the solution or that I want the government to get involved. I'm just saying that those people's outrage and was like, hey, this is going to happen. They were right, and it did happen. Because now kids are playing God knows what. I mean, I assume that like 10 years from now, kids are going to be like, oh, have you played, Grand Theft Rape 4? It's going to be... You can't stop it.
With all the porn online, we already have bred a generation of Ted Bundys, as it were. I mean, that toothpaste is already out of the tube.
Yeah, that's the biggest. I would not let a kid just have unfiltered internet access like everybody seems to want to do. I'd never let a kid have that. I mean, it's like, an 8-year-old kid, and you let him be a mouse click away from a donkey show. That's not a good idea.
Make him earn it. Like I had to do, and I had to guess my parents' CompuServe password, and you had to look at Playboy in the early morning.
Back in my day, you had to fucking sneak Playboy from an older kid or something. Yeah. In my day, I had to walk uphill in the snow a mile both ways just to jerk off.
Yeah, I mean, part of the reason why this is happening is because there's a lack of parental guidance and whatnot. But here's another factor people don't consider: kids are usually more adept at using modern technology than their parents are. Like, my parents had no idea that I had guessed the CompuServe password, and then I was going on at 7 a.m. to look at the Playboy website, because I would sneak on before they got up, and I would delete all the bookmarks and the cookies before they woke up. So, as far as they were concerned, I was just building something in SimCity or The Sims or whatever. You get. I mean, I'm not that old yet, but I look at stuff like tablets and stuff. I've tried using a tablet, and it feels like a crippled computer. But someone who's much younger can just breeze through that easily. Hell, I even have trouble with smartphones. I don't like smartphones at all. I don't like the touchscreen. I don't like this and that. I feel retarded. So that's a big reason why parents have difficulty regulating their kids' online internet usage.
Dude, if you hate touchscreens and can't figure out a phone or a tablet, you probably are retarded.
Yeah, I admit that. I wear that. I've got the dunce cap, Brian.
I mean, it's not. It's just a different operating system. Is really all it is. Like, it's not. I mean, it's not that big of a deal.
I just hate touchscreens because there's a lack of fucking control. Like, I like a nice tactile keyboard that I can click on and shit, and the keys occasionally get stuck.
Okay, but that's
just weird.
no. But like my thing is like, okay. I mean, you can run Android on your computer and use a keyboard and mouse if you want. Is that the part that? I mean, it's just a different operating system.
I mean, I'm the same way. I don't like. I get the hang of it and all. I deal with it, but I don't. I would prefer. I used to have a BlackBerry where I had a little keypad, and I wish my current smartphone had the little keypad. I don't like the touchscreen as much.
Well, the other issue I have with
and I'm just more inclined to typos is the big thing. I just I have to watch myself.
Well, the big issue I have with smartphones is that they're way too small for like a man's hand. It's like they're all designed for women with their like the little cute little hands and stuff, you know. And like I'm fat, but I'm not Jim Sterling fat. I don't have fat fingers, so I don't think my physical condition is the issue here. It's the fact that the phone is too damn small.
Well, phones are getting bigger. They've even got ones that you can fold out into two screens. I'm thinking of getting one of the ones that like becomes like way too big, because I think phones are too fucking big. It's a phone.
Really?
Yeah, it's a fucking phone. If I want to do like a thing on it, like, I mean, the only time I'm like, I don't have Twitter on my phone. I don't have anything on my phone really anymore besides Reddit, and that's just for like laying in bed, so or like standing in line somewhere. That way, nobody. Most of the time, I'm not even reading it. It's just so that like I don't have to look at all of the ugly people in Ohio around me. You know. It's just something to look at to where I don't have to stand forward and like think about like, oh no, these ugly people are looking at me saying, look at that ugly son of a bitch. So it's just a way to pass the time. But they're too big. They're too big. Just make it a phone and that'd be good. Because otherwise, I don't know. We could do like the Flava Flav big ass medallions. I'm on board with that. If we were gonna go big, let's make them really big. And then I'll wear it around my neck. I'll flip it up, and it'll be like like a big LCD screen on there, and I can just
remember
yell
10 years ago the I guess it was called like the Sidekick, where it had the little keypad that flipped that slid out.
Yeah.
I wish I had one of those on my phone.
Those
I'm not concerned about it being bigger. I just wish I had a keypad again.
Yeah, those are coming back, so you're in luck.
Yeah, I miss those
Nokia phones with the slide out keyboard.
Yeah, I don't mind smartphone for cruising sliding through or clicking on stuff, but once I got to type something out, it's like, oh, this sucks. This the touchscreen sucks for that.
I mainly use it just for listening to music and YouTube videos.
I mean, the keyboard thing's actually you can look it up. They're trying that again, so you can get phones like that. I don't know how popular they are, or how efficient or good, but they do exist. I mean, I'm using the same one I've used for years. It's a whole piece of shit, but.
Oh, I had a BlackBerry up until earlier this year, and it finally died on me. But I had kept it for like 8 years, and it was like, oh, why don't you get a new phone? I'm like, because I know how to use this one. I don't want to learn a new one.
We're renaming this show to the Retard Hour.
I mean, that's fine. That's okay with me.
The boomer tech hour.
I was thinking
of kids.
I was thinking today if there was like a podcast that's just all black dudes, just called Niggas, and I would listen to that. Like 100%, I would listen to that. It wouldn't even matter what it was about. It could be a fucking cooking show, and I would just to have it on my phone and be like, "Oh, the new episode is out. What are you listening to?" Just to say it. That's the bounds that I'm willing to go to, just to say it in public with a soft A even.
For the purposes of YouTube, I disavow that. For the purposes of myself, I think that is absolutely hilarious.
It's pretty funny.
Just disavows out the ass. But wait, I thought YouTube wanted mature content and not kid content now. I can't keep up with them.
Well, I clicked that COPPA thing on the Terror House YouTube panel. That seems to have solved the problem. Of course, we'll probably get zapped anyway in about a couple of weeks when they discover that our channel is not commercially viable, because they raised the standards to be commercially viable so high most people can't reach them.
I think that's awesome. I think it's really funny. I mean, YouTube could use a lot less content. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, YouTube's gonna collapse. I don't think they can keep doing this because they just want to be like a light streaming service, and there will be ultimately no point to it. It's like, nobody wants to go on YouTube to watch clips from ABC.
I don't know. I do.
My view is like I don't want this to happen because it means I'm going to have to migrate to BitChute or DLive, and all these alt tech platforms just suck. They do. They all suck. I've tried to use BitChute for my personal streams and whatnot, but every time I upload a video, like it gets caught in processing hell for days. And DLive, I guess DLive's not so bad.
DLive's the best.
DLive is just streaming though.
Oh, so, and like, I'm sorry, I can never use BitChute because I'm never going to use a site called BitChute. Like, I've never even been over there. I don't know what they do over there. I just hate the name too much. DLive is the best website. I'm about to quit everything except DLive because it's so fucking cool.
No, it is nice. I've seen like some. I have not streamed in over a month, and yet I'm getting at least one DLive subscriber a day. People coming over there to see all the content that I'm not putting out. So that's nice, I guess.
A lot of streamers are moving over there, so it is gaining a little bit of traction.
Well, I still need one more. I only have 199 DLive followers. I need one more so I can apply for that cool thing. I don't know what it does for me, but everybody else did it, so I want to.
Yeah, you're slightly ahead of me. I think I've got like 160.
Right, you got to get on those. I was featured on the homepage of DLive the other day for my Spore stream. I don't know why.
That was awesome, and also the stream was awesome.
It was fun. He might have given a few epileptics some seizures, but besides that,
I swear to God, whenever the epileptic, whenever the seizure things happen, I swear to God, I could see like a message encoded in them. Like it looked like some kind of like written in alien runes, or like what that old runic script that like Norse pagans use. Like I swear to God, it's almost like aliens were trying to communicate something.
No, it was
it's
in
the
Nordic.
Free folks sending you a message.
It was in Nordic runes, and it said "Save Europa."
I would assume it says something like "You're gay."
Yeah, that'd be good. It's just Will Wright just being like Max EA ruined this game. I'm sorry, just over and over again.
Well, I mean, I installed it after watching you play it, and was like, this game is pretty damn fun. I mean, we were all disappointed as hell when it came out because it didn't have half the promised features. But like, when you get away from that like baggage of it, it's all right.
I think it's a load of fun. I had a lot of fun playing it. I'll probably go to it again in 3-4 years and look back and go, I don't know.
It's funny. It's funny. I was making fun of you in the stream for playing like the pacifist route, but like I had to stop at the tribal stage because actually killing all the other tribes is really fucking difficult.
Yeah, you got to trick them. You just go around tricking people, and then like because they don't know that the whole thing is global domination, right? Only you know that. So you just go in there and with like music and gifts and stuff, and you're like, hey, let us take over your entertainment, and then there you go. Everybody becomes reliant on you, and then what are you going to do?
Well, I'm trying to do like the middle path where like you kill half of them and then you like ally with the other half. But actually sending like I saved right before this and then I quit after fucking it up so badly. I sent my troops over to massacre up one village and like all of my soldiers just got completely brutally murdered.
Yeah, see, I mean that's just the way to go. You got to trick them. He's the passive way. That way, it doesn't matter. You can be, I don't know, like a very small percentage of the world population and can control the whole fucking thing. It's a clever plan. I like to do that.
Just take control of the entertainment, and next thing you know.
Yeah, it's so stupid anyone could do it. I wonder if someone has.
I mean, that's what the civilization stage of it is. It's like attack their entertainment, and you'll convert them to your religion faster. I'm like, oh, okay, good.
Yeah, I'm going like I said, the middle route. The middle route is when you become a capitalist and you can just buy everyone out. That also works.
Yeah, see, that's where I got with the like in the galactic era or whatever. Everybody wants me to buy all of their universes and shit, and I'm like, I don't have any money. I will go. Can I go and pick up a plant or a person for you and bring it to some other place? And then they're like, sure. And I still don't have any money, and then I get stuck. Although I did perform a false flag for some people, I felt really bad about that. That was rough.
You're supposed to, like I said, I'll see this when I get to the space station. In order to make money, you're supposed to take spice from your own plants and then sell it elsewhere.
Yeah, I did that, except I'm not very good at terraforming or like doing any of my. We're kind of like real rootless people, right? So
rootless cosmopolitans.
That's not what I said.
But yeah. It's sports kind of like Metal Gear Solid 2 in that respect. Everyone fucking hated that game when it came out because of the whole bait and switch with Raiden. But then, like a few years later, when the disappointment faded away, people were like, this is actually pretty good. It's a little over rotten points, but it's pretty good.
I wonder if that's going to be the same thing for Death Stranding. It does not look fun to me, but I know Beardson apparently likes it. Some people really like it. It just looks like the worst type of walking simulator to me. But I mean, I don't know how they're going to do it on PC. Like the whole balancing thing apparently is a big part of it, of stacking everything up onto your fucking back and walking around with a baby. I mean, it just doesn't seem like something I'd want to do, but apparently people like it. Far be it from me to stop them.
I shit on it in the last episode, and it probably does suck, but I am probably going to buy it at some point just because I am that much of a masochist.
I can't wait for Cyberpunk 2077 to just be a letdown, but still a pretty good game.
Oh, I'm looking forward to that too. I mean, I've never I own all. I have so many fucking games I have never actually touched. I have like all 3 of the Witcher games that I've never once played them. Cyberpunk looks pretty interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it's got Keanu Reeves in it. Apparently, he's like your invisible friend, which who doesn't want that? Like, fantasy fulfillment right there, man. It's not going to be as good as I think everybody wants it to be, but who the fuck knows? I mean, there hasn't been a good Cyberpunk game since Observer.
And he's reprising his role from Johnny Mnemonic. Whatever. How the fuck do you pronounce that?
It actually takes place in that continuity.
I don't know. Every time I think of Johnny Mnemonic, Johnny M. I'll just call it Johnny M. Every time I think of Johnny M now, I just think of that horrible fucking PC game that came out around the same time. The one that Spoonie reviewed.
I think I know what you're talking about, but I can't think of the name.
Yeah,
I always think of some joke I saw.
It's the same name, Johnny Mnemonic. It's the same. It's an adaptation of the novel, but it has an entirely different cast of actors, including Isaac Hayes.
I just remember some bit I saw in like a TV show back in the 90s where somebody goes to a video store too late, and the only videos they have left in the whole store are Johnny Mnemonic and the making of Johnny Mnemonic.
It's not such a bad movie, It's cornball, 90s fluff, like what is it, like Judge Dredd or The Sixth Day,
I kind of like Judge Dredd. Yeah, it's a bit of a guilty pleasure. It's not as good as Dredd, obviously, but it's still decent.
I haven't seen Dredd. Judge Dredd is like, it's a cornball action movie. It's kind of dumb, but it's entertaining. Stallone's always entertaining.
Yeah, it's decent. Like, I could understand somebody that's like a hardcore fan of the comics, it's not a good enough adaptation or something, but I only like ever casually read them at all, so I'm like, it's fine.
Yeah, I don't
like. Yeah, Dredd is a better movie by any stretch of the imagination, but they're both okay. They're both fine.
Yeah, like I kind of feel like that way about, like, say, Joker. It's like, I know you mentioned in your review of it, Bechtloff, that it doesn't really fit in with the source material, but like from a movie watcher's perspective, it's a really damn good movie.
Well, I said before, I was like, I wish this was just its own IP, both because I don't think it's a very good adaptation, but also because I think it's good enough it deserves to be its own IP. This really deserves to be its own thing.
Nobody would have watched it then, dude. Nobody would have looked at it. I mean,
That's true. From a purely business standpoint, it would have just been some little independent movie that would have just been a cult classic.
Right.
I mean, I understand why they did what they did. I just wish they hadn't.
Well, I mean, I was just thinking more, I want to do like a manga of the movie adaptation and then people will be like, "This is a terrible adaptation," and I'll be like, "What do you mean?"
Yeah, they're making a sequel to Joker now. I mean, that was.
I'm not surprised. I mean, it made $1 billion, and cost them jack shit to make.
The sequel's gonna suck so bad.
It's gonna be awesome because they're gonna do a crossover with Marvel, and Iron Man is gonna be there, and
and throw some Star Wars characters in there too. Why not?
They really should just do a full just do a movie, call it Here You Fucking Nerds, and just take everything. It'll cost $8 trillion to make, but it'll make 50 trillion. And just use all of the things and just do it. Like, just put it all together and be like, it's Star Wars and Marvel and DC and, all that Pokemon's in there, fucking Mario. I mean, I don't really give a shit. I'd still go see it. I'd go, this is going to be a mess. And we'd all
Didn't they make a movie a while back where, like, everybody is on the internet and they all have avatars that are, like, licensed characters?
Oh, yeah, that was a Spielberg movie. Yeah, I wanted to see that because I thought it looked so
But I just remember, I remember everyone joking it should be called Reference the Movie.
It was Ready Player One. That's what it was called. Was that
That's
good?
what it was, yeah.
Was that shit good?
I don't know. I didn't see it.
It was a fucking Spielberg movie.
All I know about it is that Will Wheaton did the audiobook, and I'm like, nah.
Will Wheaton did the audiobook. That's...
You want to listen to that guy talking to you for, like, however long the book goes, which I imagine is, like, 8 hours or so.
In case, just in case you want an audiobook by someone whose only claim to fame is being the worst part of a show that was canceled 25 years ago.
I don't know. I mean, I don't mind. I didn't mind with Wesley Crusher so much. At least in the later seasons, like in the first season, like every plot revolves around him being like the wonder kind. I like how in the season 3 they basically started depicting him as just this weirdo, which is what he was. He was just this single mother brat who was tolerated by the crew of the Enterprise for whatever reason.
It's like you're only tolerated because the captain wants to fuck your mom.
Yeah, there are some straight facts. Yeah. I remember years ago. I was like, well, my parents watched Star Trek, and I remember the theme and stuff, but I don't remember any details about it. So a few years back, I decided, you know what, I'm going to watch this entire thing, the Star Trek Next Generation, and get into the minds of ordinary fucking people. And you know what, I liked it. It wasn't that bad. The first season was terrible. The second season was all right. The third and fourth seasons were really kind of hit its stride and kind of got dumb near the end, but it wasn't that bad.
I remember a buddy of mine got into it, and he just comes up to me one day. He's like, I started watching Star Trek, Next Generation, and he's like, it's really bad so far. And I'm like, you're on season 1, aren't you? He's like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, don't watch season 1. just don't, okay? Just skip... Skip right to the first Borg episode or something.
Star Trek: The Next Generation could never get into it, but if I see it on, I'm not gonna make you turn it off or something. But it's the only thing that I ever thought about it was, this is some shit that was on the WB or UPN or whatever the fuck it was when I was a kid. I didn't watch that shit.
Well, the thing that always got me about the first season of Next Generation was how every problem the Enterprise faced was because they had this insanely autistic interpretation of the Prime Directive. The one where Wesley they're on the planet that's paradise and shit, and then Wesley Crusher knocks over. He does something minor.
He steps on the grass, and they're going to execute him because they execute every criminal on that planet.
And they're trying to figure out a solution that doesn't involve it's violating the Prime Directive. And it's you're already beamed down to the planet. You're interacting with them. Just say you release the kid, or we turn your planet into glass. There you go.
The Prime Directive says, not to go too fucking nerdy there, but it says you don't interfere with civilizations that are all that are primitive. And you don't interfere with the internal affairs of other civilizations. So it doesn't fucking apply there. It just doesn't. The purpose of that rule is, don't go fuck with cavemen. That's basic. And don't fuck with the internal affairs of other worlds. That's it. Well, so it's I'm not going to let you kill this kid. I'm trying to fuck his mom. Sorry, diplomatic immunity, suck my dick.
It's the entire like series, like the acting is like very flat and just kind of weird and stately. It's like no one ever has any real emotions aside from Picard. I think Deep Space Nine is a much better show, like all things considered. Like maybe like the Star Trek nerds will be like it was out of line with Roddenberry's original vision. Fuck you. Deep Space Nine is a lot better from an actual watcher's perspective.
Deep Space Nine is the height of that franchise. There's no getting around it.
Has there been like a new Star Trek thing?
There's a new show on now called Star Trek Discovery, but it's like all hyper woke and shitty.
That's awesome.
And nobody likes it.
Star Trek Discovery, or STD.
Nice, dude.
They're actually coming out with a new show. They're bringing back what's his face, Patrick Stewart. They're going to have a new show about Picard.
There's a show on called The Orville that the guy who created Family Guy made, and it's actually pretty good. And it's basically Star Trek. It's basically that same thing. It's inspired by it, that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's
there's a lot of like Star Trek fans that just say like, yeah, that's the new Star Trek show. Fuck STD.
Don't fuck STD. You don't want to get it. Yeah, I saw the trailers for the new Picard show, and it's like, dude, it's like fucking 80. It's like, it's pathetic. Then they're like wheeling out all the other Star Trek actors to fucking appear.
It's basically just like, remember when you liked this? It's remember when you used to like this, the show.
Yeah. Brett Spiner's like bloated and wrinkled and looks
everything we do now new is terrible. But remember when you used to like what we did?
Marina Sirtis is like old and fat, and she doesn't even have the right accent anymore. They even wheeled out Jerry Ryan of all people, even though she wasn't in that show. She's got to be getting up there in years too. 7 of 9.
Yep. Well, I guess the connection with them is they're both former Borg. Is what they were trying to argue.
The connection is that Jerry Ryan's got those huge knockers.
She does have those huge knockers. There's no getting around that.
Yeah, those were the only two reasons that people ever watched Voyager.
They were delightful.
Yeah, not my. I tried watching the first episode of that show, and I couldn't stand it just because it was so sanctimonious.
Voyager was insanely hit or miss. It had the most potential in its premise of all the other Star Trek shows, but it really botched it. It had its moments, but
yeah, it had its
of those at the time 4 shows. It was definitely the weakest.
Yeah. There was something else I wanted to bring up, but actually, since the ostensible topic of this disaster of a show is video games, is there anything you're looking forward to, Bechtloff? Any games you're looking forward to that Santa will bring down and for you on Christmas?
Oh, I don't know. There's a couple I've had my eye on. Like they put out a Castlevania collection that I wanted to get. It's not really new, but it's a bunch of games you can't get that much anymore. As for like new shit, I don't know. I guess Breath of the Wild 2 when it comes out, but other than that, I can't think anything new coming out I really have my eyes on.
Yeah. I mean,
Breath of the Wild 2. That's probably like what 4 or 5 years from now, given how long. It might not be as bad as the last one, but I remember the first Breath of the Wild, we saw a teaser trailer 50 fucking years before the game came out. So who knows when that'll come out.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to, like I said, Halo Master Chief Collection. Like I said, that's insanely cheap. For those of you in the States, you can get the entire thing for like $40. For me here, it's $18, so there's no reason for me not to buy it. Halo Reach is coming out next. They're going to be releasing the games sequentially. So the first one will be Halo Reach next week, and then in like a couple months, they're going to do the first Halo, and then 2, 3, and then OD4 or ODS.
Remember when they were talking about doing a Halo movie for the longest time, and it just never fucking happened for some reason?
Thank fucking God.
I'm sure they could butcher it. It seems like it would be easy enough for them to not butcher it, but you know how Hollywood is.
Whoa, cool it, dude. Chill.
But yeah, they were talking about that like forever, and then I heard like it was going to be like a show on some streaming service, and then like I don't know if that was just a rumor or something, but I remember a bunch of people saying that, and everybody just stopped talking about it. It just never happened.
You think they couldn't butcher it given how easy it is, but like Hollywood has a remarkable talent to just turn this stuff into other shit. I remember the fucking Max Payne movie adaptation, which actually had my fist clench, because they somehow managed to miss the entire fucking point of the game. You had the scene at the end where what's his face, Max Payne, decides to take Valkyr and go on a drug fueled rampage. Even though the original one he was a DEA agent who wanted to kill drug dealers and was anti-drug.
Well, I never played any of the Max Payne games, but I remember seeing that in the theater because my buddy was a big fan of it, and he's like, "We should." And it was just one of those things where it's like we were going to go see a movie that day just because we, had the afternoon. And I was like, "I don't know. What do you want to see?" He's like, "I want to see Max Payne." I'm like, what is that? I don't know anything about that. He's like, "It's a great game. I'm sure it'll be a great movie." It wasn't.
But
not even having any even knowledge, let alone attachment to source material. I'm watching this movie and I look over at him. I'm like, "Does this make any sense to you?" He's like, "No." I'm like, "Okay, this is ass."
Yeah, it was a fucking abomination there, The other thing I'm looking forward to is, and I hate myself for saying it, I'm looking forward to the Command and Conquer remaster. That's another trend that's interesting. Remastered games, not remakes, remasters, where they sell you the same game that you bought 20 years ago, but it's got updated graphics and stuff. They did it with StarCraft. They did it with a few other games.
Well, you know what I kind of prefer is I prefer when you get a collection. Like, it's nice to remaster them and all, but sometimes I like when you just instead get the collection, because then you get a bunch of games that, maybe kind of got lost and are never even available anymore. I wish we got more collections. I mean, the remasters are great, but I don't know. Just give me a big old chunk of 9 of them or something.
Yeah, that would be nice. I mean, I'm probably going to be first in line to buy that when it comes out. I think the two, if they're remastering Command and Conquer and Command and Conquer Red Alert, they'll probably sell them as a bundle. I'll probably have to get it off of Origin, but whatever. I'm going to buy it. And what else? Yeah, and I think with some of these games, it's bound up in legal issues. Like during the Brian Sports stream, he was talking about Black and White. That was a great game back in the day, but you can't get it on any. You can't get it on Steam or Origin or GOG or anything. You have to get a disc. And apparently that's just because the game was published by EA, but Lionhead, the developer, was bought by Microsoft some years ago, and now it's they closed it down a few years ago. So presumably they'd have to go through some complex legal negotiation to get it out on modern computers, which apparently they don't want to do.
That happens all the time to licensed games too. The whatever company made it doesn't have the license anymore, so they can't put it out.
Yeah, I mean, there was a really good shooter from about 20 years ago called The Operative. No One Lives Forever. Basically, kind of like a video game version of Austin Powers. It was a cute little shooter. But apparently, literally nobody knows who owns the rights to it. So there's basically no way to get a remaster out, which pisses me off because that was a great game back in the day.
There's a few video game properties from the 90s, especially that nobody knows who owns, or some company's sitting on it and they seem to be barely aware they own it. A lot of companies went tits up during the 90s heydays and got swallowed up by other companies and that sort of thing.
And then the remainder went up in the 2000s. I don't know.
A bubble eventually pops.
Popping. Yeah, there we go. Anyway, we've had a good run here. This has been a fantastic discussion. I think it's about time to go. We're gonna do plugs now. Bechtloff, anything you want to plug?
I don't know. Just go to youtube.com/the Bechtloff and watch my dumb streams, I guess.
It's youtube.com/user/the Bechtloff. But yeah, go check that out.
YouTube.com/the Bechtloff also works.
Really?
I've tried that. Yeah, if you just type that in, it just automatically takes you to /user/the Bechtloff.
That's a surprise. But anyway, I'm going to throw the link in the description anyway, so people don't even have to remember that. Yeah, go check out the Saturday Night Live stream. It's good, clean fun about such topics as eating apples and retard sex and.
Yes, it's usually just we ramble on about dumb shit.
Yeah, and also there's the Twitter account which Bechtloff doesn't run. but we'll throw.
I do not, because I've been IP banned from the Twitter.
He's been mega banned. He's been almost banned to the degree that apparently Andrew Anglin has, because he apparently every time Bechtloff tries to log back onto Twitter with a new account, he just gets banned again.
Yep. It's because all the time I criticize the Amish. They have a lot of pull at Twitter. A few people know that.
Yeah, go check that out. Bryden, anything you want to plug?
Amy Klobuchar 2020 is still strong, folks. It's still the momentum is there, and go over to amyklobuchar2020.com. Send in your donation today. We're gonna put her in the White House, and that's just what I'm about. So, Washington aides, beware! Here comes the Klobes.
Oh, you know what else I want to say before we wrap up? Event Horizon is a better Doom movie than the Doom movie.
Okay, and I need to ask the question: who is Amy Klobuchar?
Oh, she's that fucking frumpy Jewish bitch who was running for president, who's apparently really mean.
Is she the one from Minnesota?
I think so. Yeah, she's just really mean to all of her aides and has no chance.
Oh, she was the one who ate a salad with a comb.
Yeah, she's awesome, man.
She ate a salad with a comb.
Yeah, the story was that she was boarding a flight, and she'd ordered one of her aides to get something for her from one of the restaurants. So he got a salad, but he forgot to get cutlery. So she took a comb out of her purse and started eating it with that.
Is it one of those long combs, or was it one of the kind of picks that the black guys use?
I'm gonna guess.
I'm trying to picture this in my head. How this worked.
I always pictured it as one of the picks, honestly. But I don't know.
Yeah, more fork-like, you know?
Yeah, but I don't know why the fuck she would have that. So it's I don't know. I don't even know if she's still running or not. She's just always been my favorite because, she's spoken to so many managers in her life that, that actually qualifies as executive experience.
But on a more serious note, I do
recommend candidate for Karens.
I do recommend everyone go subscribe to Sit in Bryden and Beer. There will be a link to that in the description. This week's episode was really good. I can't remember what they talked about, but I remember really, really liking it. So go check out Sit in Bryden and Beer and write to Bryden. All the links will be in the description. Brian's a good chap, and I really appreciate him, taking time out to host this horrible podcast.
Yeah, I'm such a busy fucking guy, dude. I'm really important.
Yeah, super, super important. And of course, you can check me out, mattforney.com, youtube.com/user/realmattforney. I'm not streaming anything now. Might in the future. Who knows? There's a D-Live. There's my Telegram page. I'm not on any social media either, and you can't prove otherwise. But the places where you can find me, you'll find that in the link. And that will do it for this episode of Terror House Radio. Be sure to check in every day at Terror House Magazine, terrorhousemag.com for our latest publication. Terror House Press launches this Friday, for real this time, at terrorhousepress.com. Check out our first book, Letters from a Heartbroken Pervert. Follow our social media links in the description. And don't forget that you can always check out past episodes of Terror House Radio at terrorhouseradio.com. Terror House Radio is produced by Bryden Proctor and presented by Jugs. Intro music by Meme Extremists. Illegitimate non carborundum, don't the bastards grind you down. I'm Matt Forney with Bryden Proctor and the Bechtloff, and we are out.